the Arizona Daily Mix. Helping women overcome tragedy in their life has always been at the forefront of Mother's Grace, and the founder, Michelle Moore, is healing the world one woman at a time. She's actually written about 12 incredible women in her new book, and joining us today is one of those exceptional women. Marilyns with Eric's House joins us as well. Good morning to both of you.
Hi, Angela.
Thank you. Such a pleasure to have you. These are hard topics that we talk about, but so needed. And as I always say, you know, it's not really a club I want to belong to in terms of tragedy that women have gone through, but it's so good to have hope and resiliency of people who have gone through it ahead of us. Michelle, tell us a little bit about the book first and foremost.
So the book was inspired by my search for fabulous women in a very divine way. And I mean women that are mothers that have gone through something that none of us can really imagine. We can't even put ourselves there, but they do, and they go through it with grace, and then they take that experience to their own communities and make a huge difference.
Yeah, and Marilyns, I was reading, you know, your part in this book this morning, and I had tears coming down my eyes sitting at my kitchen table, and I thought, wow, I mean, you are just such a positive, healing, hopeful woman. Can you share your story?
Sure. About 4 years ago, my youngest son, Eric, died by suicide. He was one of those typical cases we hear about. He had an open prescription for opioids as a result of an injury, and he transitioned from opioids to heroin, and he struggled with sobriety for a long time. And one day he decided it was enough, and so he chose to leave.
We hear about this so much now. I don't know back then if it was so common for us to hear about don't put people on opioids when they're in pain, right? Because it leads to this heroin addiction so often.
Right, and many of the members that we have inside Eric's House have experienced the same journey, where they have a child or a husband, a spouse, a friend who started with a prescription and ended up with fentanyl pills. And so we see a lot of tragedy from that.
You know, Marilyns, so often I find myself in situations around people that have had these experiences that I think, you know, I don't want to be a part of that club, but you know, I never know what life is going to deal me, as none of us do. What do people say to others in these situations experiencing grief?
Well, you know, we always hear the cliche, there are no words to express our pain and sorrow, and that is really true. So when somebody experiences a loss like this, which is considered complicated grief, disenfranchised grief, it's very hard to understand what the loss survivor is experiencing. And so the best thing to do is just offer peace, comfort, quiet, silence, bring food, because there really isn't anything that takes the pain away. It's a long journey, and people experience all kinds of different powerful emotions. And so the best thing to do is just to be present with them.
And I know so many people have suicide in their family. I know I have it in mine, you know, in certain areas of my family. What exactly is Eric's House?
So Eric's House is a place, a community, a physical address where people can come and share their stories, share their journeys. We're very, very different than many of the organizations, not only in the Valley, but across the United States, because we practice integrative grief care. And that means these kinds of tragedies really affect the total person, mind, body, and spirit. And I know when I lost Eric, my world was shattered. And I had counseling, and of course I had PTSD because I found my child. But there was really no place to go that offered a safe environment for me. And so we formed Eric's House really to treat the whole person, mind, body, and spirit. And so we offer life coaching, counseling, post-traumatic growth experiences, a variety of holistic modalities like acupuncture and Reiki. We have a labyrinth and a fire pit. We offer group support. So there's something for everyone. But the most important thing about Eric's House is our community members. They are all loss survivors themselves. It's a place where you can go and be understood and not judged. We don't judge the person who died or the person who's experiencing the loss.
Thank you so much for joining us today and for sharing your story.
Thank you.
It's a beautiful story of true hope and triumph and really giving back. So thank you. And Michelle, thank you so much for writing such a beautiful book. Where can our viewers go for more information?
You can get the book. It was just released last month on Amazon or Barnes & Noble.
Okay, thank you, ladies.
Thanks, Angela.
Thank you.